said, if you guys come back, you're welcome back with open arms anytime. You gonna keep doing that stupid thing on the YouTube channel?
The false nine?
Yeah.
I think maybe every once in a while. Like the season's over now, so hopefully David forgets by August that we're supposed to come back. But
yeah, and he is a talent. Boy, is he generational talent. Unbelievable.
He's a very nice guy.
Yep.
Oh, such a talent. Such a talent.
Oh, thank you, Kirk. Thank you. So to anyone who didn't, so we're back for another false nine, the last one of this season. Hope maybe we'll come back in August. Maybe I'll forget. Who knows? We'll
definitely be back after the Champions League final. We'll talk about the Champions League final for sure.
Okay, cool. So what you just heard was a clip of the last Kirk and Off that Buddy recorded and dropped yesterday. And that was Kirk talking about this awful YouTube show, this False Nine show. And so, Buddy, let's recap that. How was it to interview Kirk? That must have been pretty cool, no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you listen to the interview, we talked about it at the end. So I guess I'll just do it again. But like, no, it was super cool. He's the best. He's super gracious with his time. Like, he never told us whatever. Like, you have a half hour, or whatever. Like, he and I kept in our whole interaction with him too. Like that was it. Like he sits down.
Yeah, the
like,
beginning the beginning was pretty awkward. I ain't gonna lie. The first minute or two when you guys were like radio silent.
oh yeah. Oh no, yeah. I was totally gonna like I was gonna cut that to when we started, but I was just like, no, I loved it, dude. Because it's just like it's the real thing, Then he's like, all right, let you guys wrap up, and then I think like on the original recording, you can hear him say something like to Cully, but like Cully, I think he even cut that before it even got to us. And then, but it was just he's the best. We could ask him stupid things, and he'd like react to it, and like things he probably like would normally just like shrug off on the show, kind of. He's just he said wonderful things about Kirk and Off. Like the other wrap up shows that like are kind of around or might have been around. He didn't. I don't know if he noticed them, but
no. A little Australian waving his arms every day. No, it doesn't work. So let's get into. Soccer Kirky, as what I called him. You got him to talk a little bit of soccer yesterday. So I didn't realize that Pele killed his mom. That's interesting. Like that was a crazy thing to drop. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
But the other thing was, let's talk about him in New York with Troops. So like I DM'd you right away. I was like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. Like I think you said it perfectly. It was like the ending of an It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where like someone's just looking in the window. Like that was a really good way of putting that. Now, me and you have said this before when we had Mikey Fowler on. How real do you think Troops is? How unreal do you think he is on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like on a scale of 1, I think it's like a 6. Like I think what you saw there is like a 6. Like I think he loves the club. I think he like lives and dies by it the same way like that I do with United. Like United has a bad game. Like my mood's crap and shit. Like I totally understand that. But like I think he's also like he's in the business of page views at the same time. I think you can't.
No, 1,000%. So like I just think that you and Kirk were a little harsh on him, and I think you've been that before too. I do like there's maniacs like that. There is fucking maniacs. I know guys with that follow Benfica that are maniacs like that. Like I have a friend's dad who literally will go on, has been banned not from Twitter, from Facebook like 9 times because he will go on there and just write novels, buddy, and call people Diaz the Puta and all sorts of, you know what I'm saying? Like he will take, and this man's like 60 something years old, like, and he will take a loss like it's like his kid just died,
Yeah. Like
so don't get me wrong. I think it's like WWE'd up a little bit. Yeah. But I do think if that man wasn't famous, if he was at home in London in his apartment, I don't know if he'd be kicking mic stands, but he'd be yelling at the TV and throwing shit over. Like he'd be pissed off.
Yeah, and I think I said that to you. I definitely said it to Pat from Amesbury because he's a gooner too, So we were joking about it a little bit, but I've like 100% thrown stuff. I've done like literally everything you name, like punch tables, dude. Like like flipped whatever, like because United had a bad performance, or even like USA games and stuff. Like I'm a child. Like I've said that like from day one. But yeah, I like even like the yelling at TV, like for sure, but just like the tone of it, like it's so. Like,
I mean, he knows the cameras are on him. He knows the cameras are. I don't deny that. But I do think he's an actual lunatic. Like I do think he's a fucking lunatic for the club.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like, but like, but again, to like some of the shit he's yelling. Like, has anybody ever compared any of those guys to being like Henri? Like that team is
Yeah, yeah,
so, you know what I mean? Like that team is so.
yeah.
They're
That's
like
where it's like,
United.
buddy,
Yeah.
relax. Yeah, like
Yeah, they're like
relax,
United. They're so
relax.
bang average, dude. Like to get mad about it, it's like you're just showing that you're kind of like a little dumb. You know,
Yeah.
I love them,
So
but
like for instance, like when I watch some of those guys, like the live stream, like for instance, I think like he's more real than say like when they'll put like when the Braves were in the World Series last year, they
Mhm.
had like that kid Big T doing the stream because he's supposedly a Braves fan or whatever. And
Yeah,
you're just going like, dude, you don't care. Like you just happen to be the Braves fan. Like you're like, oh, I
yeah,
like the
yeah,
Braves. Or like
yeah,
when
yeah,
PFT decides he's a Capitals fan. You know, it's like, dude, come on. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
yeah.
are you
I don't
really
know that
the
story. Yeah,
you know what I
but
mean? Like, so
I
I
do,
think
I do.
some of that stuff is contrived. I think that he's an actual real life lunatic. That just happens to, obviously ham it up a little bit. But man, that was funny to have Kirk walking by. Did you see Portnoy's tweet? Portnoy's tweet was gold. He goes, two clinically insane people watching a soccer game.
Yeah, well, I that was like basically like what Kirk said every time. Like I think he said it on his show. He said it with us, where he's just like, I just felt like I was at McLean, dude. It's just another crazy person yelling at a TV. Like whatever.
Yeah. So it's cool to hear that Kirk checks out the false side every once in a while. So that's nice. But yeah, so let me ask you this to wrap up the Kirk and off part of this episode. You still at the end were like, oh, maybe we'll come back. Maybe we'll come back.
Mhm.
I mean, buddy, you are so done. You're basically done with this show too. But that
Yeah,
little comment
sorry.
that if I forget to, which is true, if I don't contact you in August, this probably won't
It's
come
over.
back.
Yeah.
It's over. Yeah. So like, stop dragging it out, man. Just stop dragging it out.
No, I know what you mean, but like I kind of like we'll always have the microphones or whatever, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll always own like the RSS feed. Like we don't pay like anything for like software or even like say like for that kind of stuff where like some people pay for places to host it or whatever. I don't really like understand that. Like or
Yeah.
like maybe I got it totally wrong too, of course. But like what we like everything we have is like ours already kind of like so
So
I
you
try
could just jump on and do one. Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
like a Sunday when we have nothing to do or whatever. Like, and it's the same. Like this show will put like I like doing the show and like after like whatever in a couple of weeks, like we won't do one for like a little bit, but like our schedules link up better than yours, that better than mine and BMD's do, to be honest. Where like
Yeah.
especially even just because like we have the Sundays, like it just makes it a lot easier. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. But Kurt, we'll do, and then BMD is an ideas guy, dude. He has these ideas every once in a while that he wants to pull off. Like the
Oh,
first
it was
time,
interesting to hear him
yeah.
say that he was Culline's mom. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So like,
I didn't get that at all.
yeah,
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I know. I wish he didn't. But like, what was he gonna say? He should have.
Oh, you got to answer him. You got to answer him.
I think he has called as other things like that, like aren't
Widely known.
Like, no, yeah, like I think he's called since the chicken fingers, like at Dave's Market, like that, like the day that ruined him. So like, I wish he gave up those characters instead of Cully's mom, because Cully's mom was like, we had so like, okay, I don't, he's the brains, I do nothing. I like he starts giving ideas and I give him like a different version of his idea with different words.
You
know what I mean?
throw in a couple lines here and there. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, he does all the thinking, but like anything you could say about a white trash mom, like we have like written down about her. You know what I mean? I'm sure she's a very nice lady, you know, like of course, but you heard that character, like you think he said Chase was dragging his ass on the rug or something like that. Like I was like, that's what it was gonna be over and over again. But,
oh man, dude, that was like honestly that I couldn't tell that was his voice. Like, good on him. He's good at disguising that shit.
He's
good on him.
He's so good. I wish he could still use Hillbilly Jim, but like I think that one's blown too.
Yeah, man.
That's a good one.
All right, so let's get into to some False Nine stuff. The biggest news this week, Young Leg, I think, is dead. I'm not sure where he is right now. Kylian Mbappe, not just the money. People are talking about the money, and the money is outlandish. Don't get me wrong. For anyone who doesn't know, Kylian Mbappe has decided to not join Real Madrid. He's staying at PSG. Everyone thought the Real Madrid deal was done, like done and dusted.
Mm-hmm.
PSG and the Qatari royal family basically put their nuts on the table, and after taxes, and I believe with bonuses and stuff, it's something like 350 million over 3 years.
That's wild. I hadn't heard like the number, like I hadn't seen it anywhere, but that is like unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So and then and this is after tax. Like they're gonna pay his taxes off and shit. They're giving him
Yeah.
private jets. Like, buddy, it's insanity the amount of money.
I
But the
wonder-
craziest part, let me get this out,
No.
is the unprecedented power he now wields at the club. They have told him, and this was in an article. I'm not making this up. This is like real deal. He can pick the sporting director, which he's already got Leonardo fired.
Yep.
Leonardo was the sporting director at PSG, and Mbappe didn't want to work with him again. So he's gone. He was fired the next day after they announced the deal. Pochettino's out as coach. He's going to be able to pick his coach, and he's basically has a direct line to the fucking Qatari royal family. Basically, like if he decides like, oh, this player, he sucks, he's gone. Like there's talk that he wants Neymar out, and Neymar might be gone, but the only issue is no one's going to pay what they just gave Neymar. So that'd be the issue with getting rid of Neymar.
Yeah,
no one's got that sorted.
And who like wants like he's
Wants
good,
him.
but like who like that just it ruins if only great teams can afford him, and that just ruins like any chemistry there is, like if there was any. But like you say it's unprecedented, dude. It's just like he got like the LeBron James thing, dude. Like okay, like LeBron James isn't connected or like those star players that, like in America, like he got an American deal basically.
No, he did. He got a players. That's exactly what I was going to say. You nailed it. He got like an NBA sort of like deal where you run the franchise, and everything that the franchise does, they're going to ask you before they do it.
Yeah. So one of the things I read like was that the problem with Leandro was like Zidane wouldn't work with him. So like,
and now they're saying,
yeah. So that was the thing. So like, Mbappe moves out like the kingpin, like brings his own guy in who's gonna hire like Zidane, and then he gets to just run the team the way that he wants to, and maybe he takes his hands off and he's like, let like the club do what the club does. Like I'm not like that kind, like I score goals, and give assists, which he's playing better than anybody in that league's obviously. That league is like what I mean when I say when I say bullshit like or stupid shit like Mbappe's overrated, because then they just go to freaking like, and he had a great Champions League too obviously, but then they just like every time they play a tough game like it's just like, he's not there, whatever. But anyway.
So that's where I want to say. So the first move that he made, I don't know if you saw, I sent you my notes for today. I'd never heard of this name, and now it's going to be one of the biggest names. Luis Campos. As usual, Portuguese people run the world, okay? Like we just do. We're in all sorts of soccer power every time you turn around. So Luis Campos was his sporting director at Monaco. He was very instrumental in protecting Mbappe when he was a teenager at Monaco and bringing him along, and really like Mbappe trusts him wholeheartedly. Guess who's the new sporting director at PSG now that Leonardo's fired?
That guy?
Luis Campos is now the sporting director. Like he was hired the next day. And guess who Luis Campos is championing to be the coach at PSG, who he's extremely close with? Ruben Amorim. Of Sporting's coach. So there is big rumors right now that now Amorim has a $30 million release clause from Sporting, which PSG would have no fucking problem paying. So that's where you're going to see, buddy, I think what the difference is, right? How much does Mbappe trust Luis Campos? He's saying Campos wants Amorim for the job, right? Amorim, I think Mbappe would want Zidane. That's the thing. So does he go with his guy Campos, who he just got that job? Does he let him kind of like lead the way? Or is he going to be like, no, listen, dude, I got you the job and we're getting Zidane. Yeah. So that's going to be your first interesting thing, a point of you just made. That's the first test. There it is. You just nailed it. Yeah.
My question is like, so when this is what I was going to ask you before. That kind of money changes people. Like you can say it doesn't. You can say he's the best young player in the world. Like you could say he's like whatever, like the best. All these kinds of like. But that's the problem. Like at United, they overpay these kids and they don't have to work as hard. And Mbappe's already like uber rich. Like I'm not saying.
But now this is different level. It's a different level. It's
300 over 3 years. Like that's money that nobody gets like that.
Nobody gets. And that's not including now they also gave him 100% of his name and image likeness as well, which is huge. Not a lot of players get that sort of deal.
Yeah.
He's got we're not even talking like his Nike deals and his other marketing stuff that he's got. We're just talking pure soccer stuff. He's getting over $100 million. And now listen, Real Madrid, did you hear what Real Madrid offered him?
I heard if the Real Madrid thing was true that he was going to take home 80 million.
No,
Like,
a 180. 180 is what they offered. And they also offered him, he would have been the first Real player with 100% of his name, image, and likeness as well. Deal.
oh yeah,
The
yeah,
only thing that they wouldn't go to, and he asked for it at Madrid. He wanted the veto power that he has at PSG. And that's what Real Madrid said, we're not
yeah.
doing
That's
that.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, we're not
Like,
doing that.
I don't, and this was a while ago, but I think the article that I had read said that like Perez had offered him 80 mil, like as like his sign on bonus because he didn't cost 200 mil anymore. You know,
Yeah.
so like
So
it was,
that's what I mean. So it was going
yeah.
to be $100 million salary plus 80 mil right away to sign on.
It's wild. Like it's wild, but like these free agents are like changing the game. Like obviously free agency has always changed the game,
I
but
just
like it's never
he's at
happened like
and
that
he's
in soccer, dude.
and he's at such a young age though. I think that's the difference, but he's only 23. He's only
Yeah,
23. I think that
a
everyone's
lot of
still
miles on
paying
his
for
legs.
a lot of miles on his legs, but I still think even in the next 3 or 4 years, you still should be getting like a top. Now, do I think he's like that sort of? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I'm with you in that. If he's that good, shouldn't PSG have gone further already with like Neymar and whatever? Like,
Yeah, he certainly.
it's
Yeah, I mean, he has like boatloads of pace. Like that's his thing. Like he's faster than maybe anybody in the world. You know, like I mean, he is like nasty. Like the goals he scored, nasty. Like puts in great balls, all that kind of shit. But that's where I just think he doesn't like how so for me, like I asked Josh Souza this in the DMs. Like I said, do you think Real Madrid should move on from Mbappe? Like should they go back in when he's 26? And Josh said no, and I agree. Like I think he turned you down twice. That's the end, dude. Like he's not worth I don't care if he's the best player in the world. Like Real Madrid is bigger than that. Like nobody. It's the same thing as I say about United. It's the same thing that you should say about all big clubs. Real Madrid is bigger than that. Like if you think you're bigger than
I'm
them,
telling
you're not.
and I'm sorry when you're now playing with basically your boss on the team because that's what Mbappe is.
Yeah,
Like he's not your teammate anymore. That's your boss.
yeah.
Like he's basically like he can go to the club and be like, hey, that guy's not going to win us help us win a Champions League. That guy is bad in the locker room. That guy or whatever the case may be. Like that changes the dressing room, man. Like, and now the coach doesn't have this sort of power that should have, or the sporting director, the executive. It's like everyone knows that Mbappe is like the final word. Like that's different, man. That's different. But they're saying the only thing that I'm reading now is that now guys like Pogba, Dembele, they're saying those guys they're free agents, so there's no transfer fee. So that's why, because everyone's saying how's PSG afford this on the FFP? Well, if there's no transfer fee, it's just salaries. That doesn't really take into account. I don't believe in financial fair play. So they're saying that those guys now could sign and to kind of recreate like the France national team sort of deal over there. In that, like I said before, he wants Neymar gone. I guess the Qatar royal family is not too enamored with Neymar's lifestyle either, from what I read in this article today.
So that's one of the things I was gonna say. Like when I criticized like Mbappe, like was that like you'd never hear the shit you hear about Neymar. Like you don't hear about Mbappe showing up to training drunk. You don't hear about him like being out all night. All that
he's
kind of
straight
stuff.
edge from what I understand. Very straight edge.
I don't know that stuff at all. I don't pretend to know it, but like I just know like you legit read like these horror stories about like you're supposed to be star player. Like maybe Mbappe is a star player on that team. Like I don't know, but Neymar was the first like piece of like that crown and like which pretty broken because they never won anything. But like he was the first piece of that crown and like he's like I said I've like read multiple times he shows up drunk like to training and stuff. Whether or not it's true,
Buddy, listen, Brazilians, we're Portuguese, right? We know a lot of Brazilians.
Yeah.
It's dude, bro, and just go back historically. Brazilians break down at 29, 30 years old. They just do. The way that they live their life, man, it's fun as fuck. I'm sure they have a blast, but they play hard, they party hard. Like that's just the way. I mean, go back and look. Ronaldinho, when he got bad fast. Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo, when he got bad fast. Like these guys they don't go to 34, 35. The hard partying rock star Brazilians. They just don't. I hate to generalize, but if you go back and look through it,
no, Ronaldo's niece had something to say too, but I agree.
But yeah, listen, that World Cup final in '98. I don't know how old you were with that. That's still one of the craziest fucking. Yeah, that's still one of the like the night before the final, he's having a seizure. Like no, there should be a documentary. If Kirk wants to do a case, do it on that fucking thing. That's still one of the, next to Malcolm Butler not playing in the Super Bowl. I guess that's the closest comparison of like, all right, what actually fucking happened to where. He was in the hospital an hour before kickoff, and then he wasn't starting. He was starting. Like, did he go out that night? Like, what the fuck actually happened?
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
have no idea. I wasn't
it's
there.
crazy. I know, buddy. So let's transition to Championship Sunday. So everyone knows the Premier League ended on Sunday. Wild. I mean, drama everywhere. And then people want to ask us why the Premier League's the most watched or whatever. I mean, it was fucking awesome. Aston Villa gets up to a 2-0 lead on Manchester City. Liverpool's tied 1-1 with VD's Wolves. And it's like no one wants to win the fucking title, you know?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, as a United fan, what's going through your mind? Is you trying to figure out a way where they both can't win it?
Oh yeah, like I said like I root for an atomic bomb in those games. Like
yeah.
Hopefully United's far enough away, but they suck too, so it doesn't really matter. But like so I'm watching United on the TV, and then on my phone I'm watching the Liverpool game because like I just put in a stupid like flyer bet, you know what I mean, like a parlay. So I was like, I'm checking the scores because I'm like, oh, it's 5 minutes into Championship Sunday. Somebody must have scored, and that somebody was Wolves. So like right away, like the biggest game or the second biggest game, I guess, of the day, like the second most important one of the day. Like there's like action right away, which is like it's it really was like scripted. So and then Liverpool, you know, maybe not in no time, but it felt like a good amount. I think it was 20-25 minutes to respond.
Sane.
Yeah, then Sane scores whatever. It's 1-1. After that, I'm like, oh, okay, Liverpool runs away with this. But they didn't forever.
They did not.
Liverpool doesn't take a lead till City is in the lead again. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like City, like you said, City goes down 2-0. Obviously, come all the way back. Everybody knows they won the trophy by now. And like that game was crazy. 5 minutes and 36 seconds. That might be better than the one 10 years ago. Like,
I mean, City scores 3 goals in 5 fucking minutes to take the lead. All after I want to say this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was an unbelievable sort of comeback. I really thought so. I was in a group chat with my buddies, and it was like, man, Pep's doing it again. Front runner Pep. You know, he's great when he's in the lead. He's great when he's front because his body language. I know you were watching the United game. If you were watching the City game when Aston Villa took the lead, I mean, he's throwing his arms, his body language. It's like it wasn't someone that you see is like in control, you know? And it's like after just blowing the Champions League, I was like, man, these guys are like, I wanted to see them lose it. And here's why. I wanted to see how the reaction would have been, what he would have done. Because I do think he's a little bit of a wild card in like blowing the Champions League and blowing the title within like a 3-week span.
Yeah.
Like I kind of wanted to see the chaos, I guess, that would have ensued.
Well, but what like in your mind, what happened?
In my mind, he gives a fucking cunty ass press conference. Like I just wanted to see him melt down a little bit.
Yeah. I see what
like he wouldn't lose his job or anything like that. Nothing like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about like cunty press conference. Aston Villa's not playing, blah blah blah, or blame it on his players, or I told them to do this. Like I just wanted to see him specifically meltdown.
I could see that. Like I definitely know what you mean, but I will say having a 12-point lead in February, losing Champions League semifinal in 2 minutes, losing the league because you drop points in match day 37 and match day 38. If that's not a fireable offense at a top club, then what besides for things that happen outside of football would be fireable? You know, like so I know that wouldn't happen because there's only maybe one manager in the world right now better than him. Like, and he plays whatever, like in the northwest of England, or he plays he manages Liverpool. So like, you know, he's not going to get fired, but like, yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, at least I get to tweet bald fraud again. Like, you know, okay, like that's what I get, you know. But
and like, honestly, I would have liked to. I know you wouldn't have liked it, but I would have liked to see then Liverpool try to get all 4. That would have been fucking crazy. I think Liverpool,
that's the lamest shit I ever heard. That's the most like bandwagon, like lame person thing I've ever heard.
Why? I would have liked to have seen it. That's all. I'd like to see it attempted.
So like I'm like different than all you guys. Like I know it's probably because of betting and stuff, but like I have never like celebrated like somebody else's like anything. Like like I was joking about like a Roma tweet earlier, but like I don't care. Like Josh was excited for AC Milan. Josh is excited for Man City. I don't have the heart for that. I'm like everybody who's not me to have a bad time too. Like, you know, like so like, But
Well, yeah, because you're a hardcore United fan. I'm not a hardcore fan of anyone in the Premier League. So
that's fair.
to me, it's just more about the stories and the games themselves. Like that's
Yeah.
what hooks me. You
But,
know.
like, you know exactly what I mean, because like if
Oh yeah.
if Porto was going to win the Champions League again, you guys would never hear the end of it.
So here's the thing, right? Here's where I get in debates like this with my friends in our chat. I root for Portuguese teams in the Champions League because it helps Portugal, but it's a different
Bro.
league than you. No, hold on. It's a different league than like the Premier League with you guys, where it's 4 spots and these are your like like the Portuguese league needs that money, the extra champion. Like it's literally needed to keep the fucking league afloat. Like it's needed.
Yeah, dude.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
But if Port won the Taça and they won the league, dude, and they won and maybe somebody already has that treble, like in Portugal, like the biggest one that you can have. I'm sure probably do, because like if you're Portuguese,
I think the 2004 Porto team that won the Champions League. I think they won all 3. I think that Mourinho team won all 3.
Like whatever the equivalent of that is, like nobody like as one of their rivals, nobody wants to listen to that, dude. Like, I don't know,
yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, because
yeah,
like nobody wants to go to like the like I want to say like the band house. I think that's what's called in Bristol. But like nobody wants to go to like say like Dom Luis Felipe, it's a big Portuguese bar in Bristol, and then go out there and then like and like see the Port, like the Port fans, dude. Like know, you'll be like it's the worst, dude. Like that's the way I feel about that.
Yeah,
like, I follow a Mina fan. I never talked to him, Evan Lewis. It seems like a nice guy. He always tweets about Liverpool. I'm like, I'm about to unfollow this guy, dude. I'm like, I don't want to see this trash. But he knows, he's just been the last couple of days. It's very like very normal things. But I'm like, I don't want to see this bullshit, bro.
I don't want to see this on my timeline.
Yeah,
you're gonna add him. You're gonna add him to the 82 other people you have muted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got to be at least 82. At least.
So what was your final takeaway about Championship Sunday? Leeds saves themselves. Let's not talk about the top. Let's talk about the bottom. Leeds United with a crazy goal in the 97th minute to pull Jesse Marsch and American coach to keep his job. I think he would have kept it anyway, but there were some rumblings that he could have been on the chopping block if they didn't stay up. And then it helps the men's national team out, or interesting for me now, in that they went and signed the next day Brendan Aronson for $30 million from Salzburg, and he's now the first big signing in the summer. Yeah, and they wouldn't have but they weren't going to do it if they didn't stay up. That's what I read.
Yeah, they couldn't afford it. Like it was like already agreed, but they couldn't have afforded it. And why if you're Aronson, maybe there's another like better move than going down to the Championship. Like I actually was just checking because I thought I didn't know that Leeds wasn't safe. I thought they were safe with it both being tied, like with them getting a point. Because I didn't know the goal difference was that bad. So they're minus 35 goal difference, and But
Burnley did end up losing the game, so I think they would have been safe with a tie. But if they both at the time that they scored, Burnley was tied as well.
No. So they
I believe
Burnley would have been safe because they both would have finished on 35 points.
Oh, okay. So all right. So they did need that goal. All right. So
wait,
I was mistaken.
Wow. Maybe I'm wrong. No,
because
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but at the time Burnley was tied as well. If they both finished tied, I think Leeds was out.
Yeah, let me see how long that game went. The Burnley game. So it went 95. So yeah, so it was just about the same. I'm like
same time.
But I thought for sure Leeds was gonna win. The only games I picked right were besides like the City and Liverpool ones. The only games I picked right were Leeds was gonna win and Burnley was gonna lose. Like I just like the kinds of teams they are. Like I think both of them with new managers even still are going in different directions. And like Leeds plays progressive and they're more like willing to like go for it. And Burnley, like where are the goals you have to have a perfect game for Burnley to get through.
So what do you think about that move next year for Aronson? I'm excited to see him in the Premier League. I guess I'm excited to see him challenge in the Premier League. I hope Bamford comes back healthy next year for Leeds, because I think he has to play underneath the striker. He's not an out-and-out striker. That would be a bad spot for him. And I hope Leeds goes and signs a few more players to strengthen the squad, because I'd like to see him and Marsch. I want to see an American do well. There's talks that Chris Armas, the number 2 at United, is going to go join Leeds as well, join Marsch over there and be his number 2. That's something that I was reading as well. Yeah, so it's going to be a very American sort of like Leeds United. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see next season. But I think Aronson's a ton of talent, man. I think that kid's fucking real.
I do. I think he's like I think we were tweeting about it the other day, but he's like the wild card in that World Cup ratio, where he's like probably the next guy up, like the first guy off the bench, and I think he's the perfect kind of player to do that. I think being in England is going to help him, dude. He's going to be challenged week in, week out. I think whatever he costs 30 million, he's not going to not be playing. He'll be playing with like top players and like against top players. I think it's a solid move, and I think he's probably ready for it. He always shines in Champions League games, so I hope so. But I also like same as you. Like I hope it works out because like it's important for the World Cup. Like that's the way I look at it. Like every move. Like I where you root for like Portuguese teams, I root for every American like everywhere. Like almost all the time. As long as Pulisic isn't playing United, I'm like I want him to score all the goals for Chelsea. So.
Yeah,
that's because it's just good. It's good for us.
Well, I mean, remember Mason Mount's 20 times better than Christian Pulisic. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, except in a big game where he's not.
There, but except ever. Fucking Mason Mount's fucking so overrated. Whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get. VD should have been here for that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it without VD here.
No, but hold on. Who's the better?
Put it this way.
Who's the better player, Mason Mount or Christian Pulisic?
It's fucking razor thin. It depends on the day. But the way that Mason Mount is treated with kid fucking gloves, like I get his numbers. Yeah. Even Josh is a fan. I just don't see it. I don't see. He's not. Put it this way: if that's your best midfielder, Chelsea, you're not going to go far. In England, if that guy's starting for you and Raheem Sterling's starting for you, England's mid. Like that doesn't scare me. That's mid.
Yeah, I just like,
that's it. I hate to say that. Like that's the way I feel. I don't see him as a guy that's like a dominant fucking player.
I know. I don't disagree. Like I watch. I'm not saying I watch every Chelsea's like every huge game Chelsea has because I definitely don't. Like I probably watched. I don't know. Like them probably play like 10, 15 times this year. Like he just like he doesn't deliver against big clubs, Like and then like every time if there's a big game for England, if there's a big game for Chelsea, who's going missing. That's like and he scoring 20 goals is important and getting lots of assists is important. Because this is a 38 game season and all that kind of stuff. But like,
he's this generation's Frank Lampard.
When you play, I mean, Frank Lampard won everything. Well, Mason Mount's already kind of won everything, but like,
all right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's along for the ride. He's not like the best player on his team. Like Frank Lampard, when he started for England, I would just be like, I was never worried. Like, I was never worried playing England. I was never being like I was never like, oh no, Frank Lampard's in there. Like it just wasn't a big deal.
That's different though. But like when you compare him to another player from Chelsea though, like I think like I know they're both English too, but like my mind went right to like Chelsea and Frank Lampard was like pivotal. Like he was so important to Jose's success there.
He was, but was he ever like the I know the press made him out to be, but I never felt like he was the best player on that team ever.
I see. I think
like it was Drogba,
most underrated player of all time.
Okay, absolutely. Drogba was the engine on that fucking team. Drogba drove that team, and then on defense, Ricardo Carvalho, like that was like the heartbeat of that team. Those early Chelsea Mourinho teams.
Yeah, but so like maybe it's the English bias, but like even I would say you couldn't replace any of like that spine. So like if you like that none of those teams do what they were like. If you replace Drogba with somebody else, it doesn't work. Same thing with Lampard. Same thing with John Terry, and same thing with I know Czech is in English, but like the same thing with or Drogba obviously. But like if you replace Czech, like you're not winning anything. But like I didn't necessarily feel the same about Carvalho, but he was so good at the Premier League too. Like
good.
His stats were
classy.
Classy. He's a Rolls Royce, bro.
Dude, he barely moved. He barely moved.
Yeah,
like he wouldn't. Everyone else would sprint and run so hard, and that dude would just take one step right, one step left, and take the fucking ball off you.
Dude,
and then turn around and gracefully make a perfect pass to like a midfielder to start the attack. The guy was just kill class. And he did. He looked like he smoked 4 cigarettes right before the game, dude.
I know, dude.
He was great.
Did a couple of sogs, dude, and then
he's ready to go, dude. Never cut his hair. Like his hair never went to a barber or nothing. Like he always had the hair on his neck. Like it was just rough, dude. But like he was great to watch.
Who was the Portuguese? Not who were the Portuguese wide backs that he had there?
Oh man, he had
Paulo Freire, right?
Paulo Freire, and I want to say Nuno Valente for a little while.
No. It was,
Oh yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head now, dude.
Oh, who's the guy? Who's the guy with the unibrow? Not Boavista. I can't.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Jose
Yeah.
something, dude. Oh, I forget
Yeah.
who it was. I forget.
But yeah, no, but yeah, they were great then. They were great. That's like maybe the best. That's like in that era, I think are the three best English teams like of all time. Where it's like Mourinho's Chelsea, the '99 United, or maybe '07 United, and like the Invincibles. You know, like
The
all in that time.
Invincibles.
It's the best time like to be around. Like
So what do you think about this title race though of 93 and 92 points? Like
wild.
it's crazy. Like I do kind of feel for Liverpool and to have that to be down 12 points in February, make that sort of comeback to only drop, I want to say 2 games all year long. To drop no points since like January, I want to say I read somewhere, or drop only a couple points since January. I take that back.
Yeah.
Like and to not win the title it's insanity. It really is.
It's why the league is literally like so like that. This is like the hard part for United fan. Like the league is better than it's ever been. Like when the league was probably the most fun besides for this, United was on top, but like there wasn't as much like class throughout the league. There was, you know, like you worried about the big four, and then you were through. Like City wasn't really even like
City and Chelsea, but Chelsea until Roman got there in 2003, Chelsea wasn't who Chelsea is now.
Yeah, no,
they just weren't.
Yeah, of course.
You were worried about Arsenal. You're worried about Arsenal, and you're worried about Liverpool. But Liverpool hadn't won a title in so long that you really weren't that worried about Liverpool.
I know, and Arsenal and Chelsea went the opposite ways at this exact same time. Like Arsenal just they got more and more trash, like, and Chelsea got better and better. But like, yeah, I don't even know what I was saying, but I was right.
Yeah, you were. No, so I wanted to say, like, we were talking about like the top of the table, the 93 points versus 92.
Oh, right. No, but that's what I was gonna say. Like Liverpool has lost the league twice now with more points United has maybe ever gotten in a like league winning season. They've lost the league twice now by 1 point, and like they cry about it, and like, hey, I totally understand, but like second place is the first loser. Like if you want more points, beat City at Anfield, and they don't. You know, that's just that's how it goes. Like United, we've all had like tough losses like that, like at the end of the season, but
So I have a question for you for next season, right? I have a question for you for next season. I love. I told you when you guys were looking for a coach, you say you got the right guy. Antonio Conte at Tottenham, watch the fuck out. Watch. I'm telling you right now, the only issue with that team, now here's a couple things, right? With Mbappe staying at PSG, does Real now go for Harry Kane? Because Real Madrid not only needs players that they want to sell jerseys, they want to be Real Madrid, they want stars. That's how they're built. Galacticos. Like, it's not just enough for the win the title. They've got to be the big swinging dick. Okay. So now does that open up a Harry Kane bid, right? So that could derail Tottenham. But my thing with Conte and Tottenham is when you're watching them now, how fucking organized they are defensively. And with Kane and Son up top, the counterattack on that team has always been good. It's lethal. Like to now they're not going to try to outshoot you 4-3. It's going to be organized defensively, organized in midfield, be fucking very sturdy, and then they're going to get their chances, and they will bear. Son and Kane are clinical up top.
Yeah, no, they're really, really good, and I think Antonio Conte was like, he takes the job and he's like, if you buy them, like with players, you know what I mean? Because like they're like Daniel Levy doesn't like spend money and like whatever, and he's like like Scrooge McDuck when you're trying to get anything off of him. But like they signed Kulusevski, they signed Bentancur, like totally turns the team around. And I think if they spend money this summer, then like if they don't spend money, they're probably still a top 4 team or like right in the edge again, 4 or 5. But if they invest in a squad, they're like they could. I'm not saying challenge because it takes so much to like catch those guys.
And then here's the issue:
they can make it difficult.
The depth, though, that's going to be their problem because your Champions League, like people don't realize how hard it is, what you need to do if you want to play good in Champions League and then, you know, still do the dredge of the Premier League, the battle that is the Premier League. Like, you know, you can't, the really good teams will go take care of Champions League on Tuesday and then not drop points to Stoke on a rainy fucking Friday or whatever VD likes to say.
Something like that.
Okay. So, like, that's the issue is if you got to always play Kane and Son like you can't rotate the squad a little bit. Like that's, you look at Liverpool, man, it's 5 or 6 class attackers. They can literally go Mane, Jota, and let's say Luis Diaz up front. And then, you know, Salah, the other guy, or Origi, and then Firmino, the forgotten man. Like Man City, same thing. Like they can rotate. Like I think Pep rotates too much, but like you have to have that to play this many games in a season. And then next year, the World Cup smack dab in the middle of fucking winter.
It's so bad.
You know?
I agree. That's lots of like that's what happens to all those teams like towards the bottom of like the they say Champions League qualification where they just don't have the money to have a squad deep enough or to have like the good enough players, and then it ends up like they ends up not making the Champions League the next year because they couldn't keep up in their league, which is like I know Leicester was in like the conference league, but like they did I don't know if they finished top half of the table, like just too many games for a squad that size.
You eventually just lose it.
Yeah, they make a good run. So did West Ham. What David Moyes is a great coach. Like when he has a well-drilled team, and he has a well-drilled team again. Like that West Ham team reminds me like a lot of his old Everton team, where like they're always going to be around. They're always going to be a problem for like top teams. But like, are they going to finish fifth next year? Like, or what they finished this year eighth? Like or seventh. They finished seventh, but like, are they going to be in there again? Like they've played a lot of games this year. And they don't have the depth.
It's going to be interesting to see, but I will tell you this: that no one, especially like if you're Liverpool, if you're City next year, you're not going to want to see Tottenham in a game where you need points or where you're in a battle or whatever the case may be, because Antonio Conte is just that sort of coach, like that just has you well organized, well drilled, and now you give him world class attackers up top on a counterattack, and that team's always going to be a problem, but. I don't know if they would have, like you said, the legs to kind of really challenge for the top tier that you need to do. So I do want to switch it a little bit to talk about Italy. So something big happened in Italy this week. AC Milan, who when I was a kid was an absolute juggernaut in Europe. I mean, was just, that's where you went if you wanted to win titles. It was AC Milan, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United in England. Those were like the monster clubs. Patrick Kluivert played there. Like you'd leave Ajax, you leave Benfica, you leave Portugal, and you'd end up like AC Milan. Italy had all the money. So they haven't won one since 2010, which is fucking a decade for them. That's crazy. Like they would win all the time.
Yep.
And they did finally win it. Rafael Leão, the 19-year-old Portuguese, 20 years old now, was named MVP of Serie A. He seems to be putting it all together. If he really puts it together, I'm telling you, man, Portugal is so much more dangerous because he's the one, now that Ronaldo is older, he's the one guy that is like power, speed, athleticism. The rest of the Portuguese players are Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes. They're more technical. They're smaller. It's more about like passing. Mm-hmm. This kid is just pure force. And go ahead.
If Portugal was playing North Macedonia tomorrow, like instead
he
of
has to start. He has to start.
Yeah, he starts over Jota, right? It's not even a club.
Yeah.
Or one of the Brunos.
In my opinion, yeah. I don't know if, Fernando Santos, we know, is a fucking wild card. He likes his guys, but what he gives you is just different than what anyone else on that team can give you at this point. And his performances for AC Milan have been down the stretch just fucking magical. He's either scoring goals or literally setting it up like goals on a platter for his teammates. Like this is what Ibrahimovic said after the game this week. Okay. Mm-hmm. He said, Rafael Leão is the most talented player I played with in the last 10 to 15 years. He goes, I tried everything I could last year to get through to him. He wouldn't listen to me. He just figured it out on his own. He's Thierry Henry for the new generation. All right. That's him. And his coach, both have compared him to the biggest comp that they're giving is Henry. Mm-hmm. So to me, like that's a top 10, 15 sort of player, as you know how much I love that guy. Mm-hmm. To me, yeah, buddy, he has to start. He has to play.
He's so good right now. I think the other thing maybe one problem like Portugal will have going forward is I don't think he's going to be at AC Milan next summer. Like I think, or by the end of the summer, I think maybe this is one of the guys that Real Madrid goes after. Like you said, they want to sell jerseys. Maybe he's not the biggest jersey seller like this year, but next season he will be. He's so good. Like I think like and it would save Real Madrid. Obviously maybe again we said the Mbappe thing is probably should be dead forever, but like it saved Real Madrid $300 million. Like $300 million,
and they're going to spend it somewhere. They're going to spend it somewhere.
Yeah,
they're going to spend it somewhere.
he's so talented. He's somebody too like that I wanted United to go for because I think I think the Ronaldo comps are good or like the things you said about him like how would he bring to the team instead of like Ronaldo like are make a lot of points. And like he could help United so much though, like off that left wing, dude. Like they need somebody who could like who plays the way that he does. But
he has no fear going at people, none. He doesn't.
Right.
He'll take you on, create off the dribble, and then his pace. His first step is just he's a fucking gazelle. He's really just a fucking gazelle. Like he's nasty.
I know, and I wonder if maybe the league he's in not like Italy's a fine league, but it's not England or Spain, you know, and it's not playing in the Champions League, like playing teams like Champions League caliber, you know, every week. But like, I wonder if maybe that makes him look a little better than he is. But like, he's so talented, though.
That's the thing is that AC Milan didn't play in Champions League this year, so they could focus on the Italian. So like that, I do think that it's a big difference. I say that all the time. Like, you know, Porto this year dropped out of the Champions League early and was dominated the Portuguese league, while Benfica and Sporting lasted longer. Now, I think Benfica had a down year. You know, they finished like 15 points behind. Don't get me wrong. But I do think that helps when you're a team at that level where you're not like, you know, where you don't have a ton of squad depth. AC Milan not having to worry about Champions League football probably helped them towards the end with the title. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like, yeah, can you play 3 games a week on a top level club? That's going to be the next challenge, of course, you know?
Yeah. And that's asking a lot. Maybe he's playing every week. I don't know how many appearances he had still, but you're right. Yeah. Like if his next move defines him too. He knows that. Like, and maybe he stays at Italy forever, but like, I think the money's going to come calling this.
I think he might stay this summer because I do think that he looks at like to leave and to go to Real Madrid or another, maybe United. You might go to because they're not Champions League, and he would definitely start there. Real Madrid, you never know, right? I think I think a lot of these guys are looking at World Cup in October. I don't think you're going to see as much movement as you normally would, dude. I'm telling you. I think they might hold off a year on that. I think a lot of these guys might hold off a year. Let's get into Champions League. Yeah, let's get off to the last thing that I want to really get into. Champions League final this weekend. We'll do it real quick, as you said. We'll come back and recap the game, so we'll do a quick preview. Who do you like? What do you see? What needs to happen?
I don't know all that stuff. Like I hate Liverpool. Real Madrid is fine. Real Madrid wins because I hate Liverpool. I don't care how Real Madrid wins because I hate Liverpool.
Okay, Liverpool's going to win this game. I think it might be a blowout. I think it might be and here's why. I'm telling you, the Mbappe thing happening the week before the Champions League final. Real is way too concentrated on that shit. Liverpool is just a better team overall. I think the Real Madrid magic not being in the Bernabeu, like that shit's out the window. So that sort of magic or whatever. I think Liverpool gets revenge from a couple of years ago in the Champions League final. I think all signs point to Liverpool. So if you're betting that this weekend, I believe Liverpool's even money right now or plus 105. I would take them to lift the trophy just in case it goes into extra time. You don't want to get screwed. I think that's like minus 120. But I'm absolutely burying Liverpool this weekend. So.
Liverpool has they played in 2 cup finals this season. You know that? They won 2 cup finals. You know the score at the end of 120 minutes?
I want to say 0-0 in both of them, 0-0. Right?
That's not
so it's Madrid. So I said lift the trophy. You gotta pick the trophy.
I agree. Lifting the trophy is Real Madrid because they win in 90 minutes because they score goals, dude. And maybe they have whatever. They have extra 2 weeks. I disagree with you about the Mbappe thing. I think Real Madrid's a proud club, dude. They've been thinking about the Champions League final for whatever. Like Mbappe isn't that just like a bigger stage for Rodrigo, who Ancelotti says has to start? Like, so Rodrigo's going to start, Vinicius is going to start, Benzema's going to start. Isn't that just a bigger stage for them? Like now while all eyes looking at them, if you're those guys and like they're already stars, like they're already not just as good as Mo Salah, but they're already just as good as everybody else on Liverpool's attackers. All the 5 guys, 6 guys you name, those like the Rodrigo and Vinicius. Like I just think
Liverpool's better.
I think Real Madrid is too classy, dude. Like Liverpool, and maybe he's hamming it up. Who knows? I guess I don't know when the actual final is. It's this weekend, right?
Saturday. Yep.
Yeah. So maybe he's hamming it up, but 6 days before the final, Thiago Alcantara basically almost like can't walk leaving the pitch. Like his knees like done.
And he's very important to them. I will say that him being out would be huge. Yes.
And Fabinho is great, but like still like it's not the same team like with Naby Keita in there or like again like or whoever it's going to be. Like,
I just think Liverpool defensively is so strong and solid, and then what really makes a difference, what really just sets Liverpool.
No, hold on. Are they? That's ridiculous. They're so strong. Like Wolves ran at them for 90. For like Wolves had whatever 4 or 5 like shots in on goal. If Liverpool had played the same way against City, that game they don't win that game 3-1, dude.
Okay, well the game is different because with Wolves they're at home and they're attacking, and obviously they're weak on the counter attack. I don't think you're going to see Buddy then throwing the kitchen sink at Real Madrid like that. And you're absolutely right. I mean, Raul Jimenez is totally cooked. Like if you watch that game, Jimenez sad, man. Like he had like 3-on-1s, 2-on-1s, and he couldn't even make the right pass. Like it was actually sad to see. And I'll say this: what makes Liverpool different, the biggest difference is when Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, what they give you from the wing-back position is basically like goal scorers and midfielders. I just think that's going to end up being too much for Real Madrid. I just don't see them being able to withstand it. If Liverpool scores first, watch out.
Yeah, maybe, but what is Trent Alexander-Arnold give you that like, and again, maybe it is like he could score a goal, but Carvajal puts in balls like just as good.
Alexander-Arnold's a better passer than him.
No. Again, but do you think Real Madrid has right backs and left backs that can't do that? Of course they do.
Of course they do. Like, they're in the Champions League final. I'm not saying it's going to be like, but I just think Liverpool is just a better overall team, and without the Bernabeu, without the home field, that like if this was played in like a leg in each stadium, I think Real would have a better shot. One game, neutral stadium. I just think Liverpool's a better team.
One game in Paris, dude. Like, and again, like it'll be like that's not far for either team to travel to. Like,
not at all.
They'll both have like a good amount of fans there. But
maybe Mbappe will show up in a Real Madrid jersey in the stands. That'd be funny.
Yeah, but I think I just don't like. I maybe I'm thinking too much of like the class portion of it, but Real Madrid kind of has been cruising too since they played City. So like maybe that I don't know, who knows, maybe that helps them or hurts them. But
so I think it hurts them. I don't think that they haven't played a real game since then. Like they haven't played a game that meant anything since then. I think that's a huge deal right there. And
Liverpool hasn't. They've got players injured in each of them.
Yeah,
almost literally each.
So I guess we're gonna find out. Like, was it be rested or Arjen Sharp and Zion? I guess we'll see how that goes.
And this is literally the last game Liverpool could have played like all season. They played every single match they could have played. There's again like we said like we jokingly said about Mbappe having lots of miles on his legs. These guys, they're fucking like they're dead too,
Yeah.
And like it's a Champions League final and it's easy to get up for. But like I think to go in like if you're betting and you have to feel a certain way, like I understand like convincing yourself that like that's the way it's gonna be. Like oh no, my God, we're gonna go in there, dominate. I'm not gonna have to worry about the bet at all because they're gonna score in the first minute, which England did, and that turned out well for them. In the Euro Cup final. But yeah, so I don't know. I think this is Benzema's like crowning moment as Ballon d'Or. Like
and that's what Josh's storyline is. Whoever wins this game is Ballon d'Or. He thinks it's down to Mane and Benzema. So if one of them has a game, scores a goal, whatever the case may be, it could also seal up the Ballon d'Or.
I understand why Mane would win. He's not even the best player in his own team. That would be a travesty.
I don't know, dude. Salah's been for a couple months now.
I know what you mean.
And then Mane winning he won the African Nations. That's what I mean. That's a big deal. Yeah. Like that's a big deal. So last two things I want to get to. We can't end the show without talking about our boys CR7 and Messi. Okay, the news coming out of Messi buying 30% of Inter Miami, excuse me, and coming to MLS not next season, the year after. What do you think? Is that real? Like, what do you? I don't know. I just read this stuff all the time, and I just don't believe it.
Like, who knows? Again, I don't know if it's true. But we're not here to like say, you know what I mean? Like, we're here to laugh, dude. We're here to say it is true. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would go to Gillette to watch him. I'll tell you fucking that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even if he's sitting on the bench. Yeah.
Like it's a great move for MLS because like he's not that far out of his prime. He wouldn't be that far out of his prime. Like he just was. He was Ballon d'Or like last year, dude. Okay, so you get him to MLS. Like that first season would definitely fucking sell tickets at every fucking stadium that he went to. Like 1000%.
And I'll tell you that, hey, call him what you want. Call him Pinaldo. Say he only scores tap-ins. He didn't retire in the fucking sun, bro. He retired in the rain in Manchester, whatever he goes. Like right now, he's in the
Yeah.
rain in Manchester. Messi wants to go to friggin' Miami, dude.
Miami.
It says maybe it says like I think it says all you need to know about like like Messi's the best, maybe second best, third best player of all time. Like the two of them are right there. Like to say like one strives better than the other, but like he is not
But
as dominant.
the twilight of the career, Ronaldo has aged way better. It's just the way it is.
And even like if you look at like even like the time it took Ronaldo to get going, which is like maybe something like us as CR7 stands don't really want to like admit that like that he didn't score Champions in goal until like whatever 2006 2007 till like he was like in his 20s already, but like in the span that like when his career took off just before like 2007, so if you want to say that 2006 season till now, like nobody has had like a goal rate like that. Like no. Everywhere he goes, he scores goals. Like you know, we said every time we're
Manchester United didn't win a fucking game without him this year. They did not. I mean, they did not win one game that he didn't play in, dude.
Besides for the one game they played when he wasn't signed.
But yeah, signed, 100%, yes, 100%. Yeah. Yep. No, like right. I mean, so and then now here's I want to get into Ronaldo. Betfair, a betting thing in England, has the highest odds of the team that he'll be on next year is Sporting back in Portugal. He's always said that's one thing that you said that it was. I didn't think that it would happen because of the money, but obviously he would take a discount or whatever the case may be, or maybe they give him like a piece of his own merchandise. I have no clue what they would do.
That's the best odds.
Best odds right now. No, best. That's 7-2 odds right now.
Who's Man United?
Third. PSG second.
Yeah, so I actually think.
So that's it. The rumor is Neymar out. Mbappe pulls. He wants to play with his idol. He convinces Ronaldo to go there, and it's Ronaldo, Mbappe, and Messi for a season.
For me, if I think if Ronaldo leaves, he's going Madrid. That's what I think. And I know we said that last time with Leg or whatever, but I think that's the move to me that makes the most sense. Like you go back there, like, and then again, maybe you guys are the guys who slay like PSG again, you know, and it's all worth it. Another ring, another like. Now he traveled to the two clubs he got to play the two clubs he loves the most again, back in front of their fans, and now he can go back to Sporting.
I'll tell you where he's not going to be. He's not going to be at Manchester United. Ronaldo's not wasting a season not playing Champions League. He loves the Champions League. It's where he made his bones. Yeah, I don't think he's going to. And Sporting is in the Champions League, so that's one of the reasons that they're saying that he would go there. I think he's got to play Champions League. I think this is last year like where he can like really go for it. I think he wants Champions League.
I don't. He would have to take like an unbelievable pay cut to go like which I know that was your argument the first time. I put Sporting has no money and stuff, but like nobody in the world can pay him the money that United pay. Like I think the match he got a hat trick. He made $800,000 like pounds, I think, or some shit like crazy shit like that. Like but of course it's totally possible. But I know of course I'm a United fan. Like I think he's around next year. Like and again, maybe
really.
Yeah,
all right.
I do. And he like everybody says this about every player who goes, every legend. Like, but he really loves United. Or at least they say that he does. Like I don't know about, but like he was the biggest voice about being like standards have dropped. Like what happened here? He's like I said a few weeks ago. He's the biggest reason that they finally fired Ole. Like they didn't want to fire him.
What does your new manager think? Oh, like that's the biggest thing, right? Because this guy's supposed to be coming in and kind of getting what he wants.
So they asked Ronaldo said he wanted to hear if he was part of Ten Hag's plan, and I totally understand that. So they asked Ten Hag today at his first press conference what he thought about Ronaldo. Like he says, "Do you want Ronaldo on your team?" And Ten Hag said yes. And then they said, "What does he bring to the team?" And Ten Hag said, "Goals." Like that's that's what he means. But I mean, yeah, I know. But seriously, but I've seen other people say like. I don't know if you've seen them, but there's like a picture of like Ten Hag grabbing Ronaldo's face when Ajax played Juventus. Like Ten Hag loves Ronaldo, and he's the greatest player ever, all that kind of stuff. And he said he'd be honored to work with him. And like, I mean, it's coming through Fabrizio, so everybody believes it, But like Ronaldo says he's committed. He says he understands he can't play every match week in, week out, and like he agrees, and like he thinks United need more strikers. Like he's saying all the right things. Who knows what happens?
So we'll see. It's an interesting summer. It's going to be an interesting summer, man.
I also think they paid something for him, you know? So like, and I think this is like a new football club, kind of new identity. I think this says a lot about Manchester United, what they do. If he wants to go to Sporting, if he says, listen, I'm not going to play for you, I want to play for Sporting, that's fine. But you pay something for him. He's under contract. You don't just let him walk. Like you can't do that, in my opinion.
Okay.
For everything he's done, all the smiles and like all the goals and trophies we won, like up to 2008 or 2009. Like that's great, but they're gonna get something for him.
Interesting. I'm very interested to see what happens with him this summer. It would be cool to see him back in Portugal. It would suck as a Benfica fan because obviously it's like to watch him. Yeah, he's gonna score like fucking 9 goals against Benfica, dude. Because then it's weird. He hates Benfica. Like he grew up real Sporting. So it's odd as me. I love the guy, and I'm being a Benfica fan because when he played like against Benfica, Manchester United Champions League, he scored a rocket, and he was so fucking happy. Oh, he was celebrating so fucking hard. I was like, "You cocksucker, dude." You know what I mean? But like, so that's hard. But it'd be so cool to see him. Like, we barely did get to see him. Like, we all knew who he was. It was him and Quaresma were coming up in that academy, and everyone like, when he debuted for Sporting, he was like, "This is the golden boy, it's the next guy." But he really, he was a sub a lot of that year. He didn't start. We never got to see like Ronaldo in Portugal, so it would be very cool to see him. Like it'd be weird to see him playing like in fucking like Santa Clara in the Azores. Those Azorians would go fucking crazy, dude.
Dude, they like the story where like Ronaldo is like United played them in like a preseason match.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, like on the plane, all like the senior guys
Rio Ferdinand, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, like Alex, because there was already negotiations. He already had like he knew of him. There was a back channel deal, but they were like, no, you need to get him now. Like he's gonna fucking blow up.
Yeah. Oh, and like Arsene Wenger thought they signed him. Like all that kind of there's all that kind of there's so much like stuff with that. Like
there's a great article in The Athletic about like the oral history of that day and stuff like that. It's really cool. Everyone should look that up. It's a good article.
It's wild. All right,
man. That's it. We did it. Yeah, I got to go too. Celtics are on tonight. Did a good solid hour. So I'll hit you up next week. We'll try to do something after the Champions League. And then we'll probably do our summer break and maybe done forever if I don't contact you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Rest in peace.
We'll see what happens. Rest in peace.